What is up, guys? Kackis here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today we are going to be showcasing how to farm the crap out of the current Grandmaster Nightfall. This is the first week the Adept Shadow Price Auto Rifle is on offer. So this video is going to be going over the best builds you can utilize and the tactics you can do in order to get as many of these auto rifles as possible so you can get those god rolls. And so let's get started. But just before we do, the key element to our Grandmaster success was having that energy and that focus to be hitting every shot, because we were drinking that advanced GG focus, baby. Now, for the next 72 hours, code KHD25 is 25% off. Guys, you can get that brand new Kakkis Kiwi Lime. It's a tropical vacation in your mouth and be sipping on the only clinically proven gaming supplement out there. Can't recommend it enough. Have it all the time. Literally had it before I made this video, guys. Click the link in the description and again use code KHD25 for the next 72 hours to get a huge deal. Alright, now let's get started with the video. And first things first, let's talk recommended loadouts. Now within this Grandmaster, the champions you're going to face are Unstoppable as well as Barrier. Now for Unstop, that means you can use either hand cannons or pulse rifles, and then for Barrier, you can use scout rifles, but you can also use sniper rifles. That's right, anti-barrier sniper rifle is a mod this season, and I think you should absolutely make the most of this mod. Being able to turn your sniper rifle, which is already dealing a ton of damage, into an anti-barrier weapon is fantastically useful, and you will see it used to great effect within the background gameplay. Now, as for elements, frankly, you are fighting void shields the entire dang time up until the final boss fight. And if you use some of the tactics I'm going to recommend, you'll kill the boss before ever needing to break the solar shields in that very final encounter. So definitely having access to void is super important, and therefore I would recommend for your energy primary either the bottom dollar hand cannon or the premonition pulse rifle to again stun those unstops and also deal with void shields. Now in terms of heavy, all three of us were using the Anarchy, and this is definitely an Anarchy week. It's not always the best thing, but frankly it shines within this Grandmaster for several reasons. Firstly, the Cabal tanks that you encounter throughout this strike, they are really susceptible to being stuck with Anarchy. If your entire team does that, they'll pretty much just die. The Thresher ships, which you're going to encounter during this strike, are the same thing. If everyone sticks them with Anarchy, you can hide behind cover and they will die. Also, the Cabal are just thick, so they're really easy to stick with those Anarchy shots, and especially the Unstops, stun them, everyone sticks them, and then they're going to be finishable by the time they charge to you. Now, if you don't have Anarchy, frankly, you should be spending every waking moment trying to get this gun. It is so dang good. However, you can utilize the Wither Horde. Seriously, just add 1 or 2 Wither Hordes to your team's arsenal and you are absolutely banging. You are using an Anarchy Light. I was unironically using a Wither Horde last week for the Grandmaster. It was truly fantastic. And again, that's going to let you stick a Thresher, stick the Cabal tank, whatever, damage it significantly while being in the safety of behind cover. And then if you are using that, using a powerful Vorpal machine gun like the Swarm is a great idea. It's going to let you stick a champion with your Wither Horde. It's going to be ticking down in damage, and then you switch to your Vorpal machine gun and shoot him at the same time. The damage output is very significant in that scenario. Or a great rocket launcher with, lasting impression with auto-loading holster. That's going to be great as well. Now moving on to your subclass, I would definitely recommend 1 or 2 defensive supers, so Bubble or Well. If you are using Well, make sure to use the Phoenix exotic chest piece to get your Well back as quickly as possible. Additionally, I would highly recommend an Invisible Hunter with the new Aeon Gauntlets, specifically with the mod that will give your teammates either special or heavy ammo. This is incredibly valuable, and you'll see in the background gameplay all the time, we would weaken the champions, our hunter would just go invisible for safety, walk up to them, finish them, and that's heavy ammo for the other two teammates. So we had essentially an infinite flow of anarchy shots. We were just sticking them to everything. So that was very valuable. In terms of other mods you should be using, definitely use finders and scavengers for your valuable weapons, so your sniper rifle, your grenade launcher in this scenario, and protective light. If you're gonna use a mod in the GM, frankly, it should be this one. This increases your survivability massively. And speaking of survivability, if you have a solar chest piece, definitely put on solar damage resistance. That is going to be the most common element used against you, especially a lot of the enemies have the Cabal Flamethrower and the Unstoppable Champions especially, so being able to resist that is very important, and a sniper damage resist isn't a bad idea either because of all the Scion snipers. Alright, now moving on to some tips and tricks for the actual Grandmaster. Well, it's pretty straightforward for the majority of it. When you get to the first encounter, I would highly recommend, sticking that Thresher with either your Wither Horde, remember multiple Wither Hordes don't actually stack, or Anarchy, just then retreating to cover to let that thing die, otherwise it's going to eviscerate your team, and then slowly picking off the adds. Remember, it is worth using sniper shots to kill the opposing Scions. Yes, they're only red bars, but they can kill you in one shot, so you better do it to them first. Something else important to note, the big green Cabal guys here are actually coded as mini-bosses. So if you do have a teammate using the Aeons with that ammo-producing mod, they will give you heavy ammo, so don't forget that. Alright, now as you move forward to the second area here where you're depositing the ball, remember, you can drop that ball whenever you want, fight enemies, and then when they're dead, pick it back up. There will be a teleporting phalanx, like it will randomly appear in this area after you've killed a few guys and the Unstoppable Champion is out. So just be aware of that. Trust me, keep your eyes out for that guy. He randomly appears in the middle of the gunfight. Now, after this part, you can actually skip ahead significantly. If you can go invisible, you can run right past the guys near this bridge, and then you're going to have a bunch of Threshers kind of coming in at you in this wide open area, but you can just take your Sparrow and go right by them, completely ignore those guys. All you need to do is kill this one barrier champion, but if you're able to, then you can continue skipping all the way to the next encounter. And for this next encounter, this is definitely the most difficult part of the Grandmaster in my opinion, because you're gonna have, well, quite a lot of enemies shooting at you at the very beginning. Prioritize the tank, like if you can anarchy that guy down, definitely you want that dead before you're peeking out and engaging the other enemies with your primaries, with your snipers, etc. Also, once you kind of dispatch a few enemies and kill that unstopped champion, you'll notice that 2 barrier champions have spawned back to back. Now definitely if you can go invis and get kind of close underneath them, this is going to give you a great place to engage them. If you're trying to fight them from afar, it can work, but you're gonna need a lot of ammo because often they're gonna kind of back up and switch places. So the one you're trying to focus fire on is going to back up, and the other one you didn't want to focus fire on is going to walk in front of that guy, and they can kind of switch positions and heal themselves. So definitely if you can kind of slowly work on the adds and move up, so you can kind of just jump, get a couple anarchies on one, and then lower the barriers and kill one after the other, it's going to make life easier for you. Then you're going to have a Cabal tank dropping down. Now for this, I would highly recommend retreating backwards. Like you're gonna see us stick the tank and then we go all the way back to this ramp here so that we can deal with the 3 unstoppable champions that charge you. Definitely if you can just stun those guys from afar, tick them with anarchy, by the time they get to you, they will be very weak. But really the key here is just stick the tank immediately so you can kill that guy quickly and then retreat. Like keep backing up and slowly whittle down those unstopped champions. Moving on from there, we have the room just before the boss. Remember, the boss, you can damage him, but you don't want to. Just let him jump away, frankly. You are going to have to engage a lot of enemies in this room. It's pretty normal, though, but something very important to note when leading into the boss fight, this is going to give you a huge advantage when it comes to farming this Grandmaster. So, as the room is kind of coming to a close and you have the last objective to hit, where you pull the lever to cause the elevator to go up, what you want to do is send one player, as you're seeing in the background gameplay, to jump up the chain and get near the top. Now, what that's going to do is spawn the boss really early and let you damage him the entire elevator ride up. The boss doesn't go away or anything until the elevator is all the way up, whether or not you do this method. So it just gives you a significant amount of extra time to put damage into this boss. So again, send one guy up the chain, then pull the lever, and that's going to spawn a Cabal drop pod full of legionaries, kill that guy, and then if your teammate is high enough up the chain, the boss will have just spawned. Now, that teammate and you guys are in danger. Like, the Cabal boss can snipe you from all the way up at the top. But if you just duck behind cover when the laser is kind of starting to get red, you'll avoid his sniper shots. And as you can see us with our anarchies, if you angle it right, you are able to tick him for that entire ride up. So once you do get to the top, someone pops a bubble or a well, get a few more ticks on, and frankly, that's it. The boss is going to die before anything, actually happens in terms of his mechanics, which is super amazing, because if you don't do this, then he jumps away, becomes invincible, so many enemies spawn, thresher ships spawn, so it is really imperative that you kill the boss as quickly as possible. Now, it is possible that if you don't do enough damage, he does jump away, but if he is doing this, try to hit him with your sniper for as much as you can in the air, because if you do a significant amount of damage, he'll jump away and then immediately jump back so that you can tick him one last time and hopefully finish this boss off before having to do any kind of complicated things or deal with any of the ads. And so guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at @RickKackis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.